y'all, I am back and today we're reading some Tinder horror stories. This isn't necessarily going to be scary. These are going to be like weird, awkward, uncomfortable stories, but I'm really excited to get into it. You may or may not know I am recently single within the last couple of months and I'm on Hinge. So I was gonna look for Hinge horror stories, but I feel like Tinder is so much easier to find these stories because Tinder is like the most popular dating app. I also don't want to freak myself out and get off of Hinge, so we're reading Tinder horror stories. And then at the end of this video, I'm gonna show you my profile because I did something kind of funny. I know I used to make Tinder videos where I would have like themed profiles and I would read you guys the messages that I got. And I don't think I'm gonna do that again, mainly because I'm older now and I feel like people aren't as funny at my age. Like when I was like 22, 23, people were really funny. And I feel like now that I'm older, everyone's super serious about dating apps and like finding a relationship. So I don't think I'm gonna get funny messages. And I changed my profile to something funny and I've gotten one. One person commented on it, only one. So we're not gonna do that, but I am gonna get started with the story. Sorry, this was a longer intro, I just wanted to say that. So this is 15 Tinder horror stories that make your worst date seem great by comparison. I don't think I'm gonna read the titles to these. Normally I would read the title and then read the story, but I feel like the title kind of gives away the story, so I'm just gonna read the story. And some of these are really short too, and so I don't wanna give away the whole story by reading the title. But this first one says, it ended up being a double date with his mom and her OkCupid date. He told me that he and his mom were a package deal. I was mortified and there was no second date. And I'm not gonna be like, this next one, and this next one, and this next one. So you'll understand when I'm changing stories. It'll be obvious when the story ends and when a new one begins. I went on a Tinder date a couple months ago on a Sunday afternoon. Met up with the guy around 3. He had really good energy, was funny and complimentary. The place we wanted to go had a long line, so we went to another restaurant on the water for a drink and appetizers. He started slamming down Mai Tais. I had 1, he had 3. They were strong. Like I was tipsy, borderline drunk off of 1. The bar had a 2 Mai Tai per person limit, but he found another bartender to get his 3rd. He got drunker and drunker and started telling me he loved me, joking at first but getting increasingly serious. As we left, he asked me to marry him. I kind of laughed it off and was like, maybe we take it slow, we just met each other. He got so mad he stormed off and left me on a street corner. Then as soon as I got home, it was 5 p.m. He started texting me, come over and I miss you. I can't fucking imagine, I can't imagine that. I would block them immediately. I would have no idea what to do. Okay, I have to read the title for this one. It says, dude had left drippy poop water stains all over my bathroom floor. After a movie date with a guy I met on Tinder, we came back to my place. We'll call him Dude. I told him we could hang for a bit, but I have to work in the morning, so I would need to go to sleep soon. Dude said that was fine, but he was hungry and was going to order food. Okay, sure. Dude orders 2 large subs from Potbelly and a milkshake. Downs it. We end up messing around a bit and fall asleep in bed. I wake up to my front door opening and closing several times over a 5-minute period. My dogs are going nuts, and it's 1 a.m. What the heck is this guy doing? I walk around the corner to make eye contact with Dude, who is in a squatting position over my toilet with a stick, poking around in murky brown poop water that is millimeters from overflowing onto my bathroom floor. Horrified, he yells, stop looking at me, go back to bed, I have it under control. I have it under control. I'm still waking up trying to understand what I'm seeing and what's going on, and I just start nervous laughing. I don't know what else to do. He yells, why don't you have a plunger? And I said, I don't know, I've never needed one until now. He tells me to go back to bed and he has it under control. I remember hearing him peek into my room a bit later and heard, I fixed it, then heard him leave and close the door behind him. I am not one to get grossed out or to shame people, but I'm sorry, if you don't just wake me up and tell me that my toilet is overflowing because you took a fat fucking shit. You went outside and got a stick to poke around and try to plunge the toilet. Like, I'll buy a plunger tomorrow. Just like, let me know. I don't know. Oh wait, that wasn't even the end. That wasn't even the end. The next morning, I hesitantly approach my toilet to find the water is down. But there's something poking out from the bottom of the toilet like he didn't get it all. Upon further inspection, what I was seeing was the tip of the stick. Some gloves, towels, and barbecue tongs later, I pulled out approximately 3 foot of a stick from my toilet that had broke off, followed by several other stick fragments. Dude had broke several sticks. I heard my door open and close so much because he was going outside to look for a stick. One would break, he'd go get another. Dude had left drippy poop water stains all over my bathroom floor. After work that day, I went straight to the store and bought a plunger. I still can't, It's so funny. Like, his solution was to find sticks to poke at the poop with. Like, it's kind of smart. It's kind of smart. A chick said she was having a work party at her house and I should come over. It was bring your own beer, so I bought a 6-pack for myself. Went to her place and noticed more than half the people were younger, 17 to 18, while I was 21 and the girl was also 21. Then they gathered everyone in the living room and proceeded to talk about the job. Turns out it was one of those pyramid scheme recruiting gatherings. I just sat there drinking my beer, only one drinking, for 2 hours because I thought it was rude to leave because they were telling sob stories and saying how much this job has helped them. Sat there listening to some head of the group guy saying how we can make millions in a short amount of time. Saying some bullshit like, you see my BMW Series 3 out front? That's a company car that you can drive around in if you do what we do. Never again went to work parties for a Tinder date again. It was a complete shit show, and if it wasn't for the beer I brought or the Tinder date's dog, I would have just left. Why would a Tinder date invite you to a work party and why would you go? Like, I don't understand why you would even want to go to like someone's work party unless they like needed a date for it and it was just like you met and clicked and whatever, but I would never want to go to somebody's work party. It just sounds boring. Okay, I'm gonna look really low. Okay, I'll lower this. I just don't want to sit on my knees. So I met this girl on Tinder and went for a lunch date. We had a pretty good connection, so we decided to have dinner as well. After having a few drinks, one thing led to another and we ended up back at my place. We hooked up and went to sleep. Middle of the night, I wake up and she's intensely staring at me while she's crouched behind my bed. Asked her if everything's all right. She said yes and got back into bed. I thought, a little creepy, but probably nothing to worry about. She lays down to cuddle me and she's wet. At the time, I was like, damn, I must just be a stallion. Fast forward to the morning. She's gone and there's a wet puddle beside the bed. She peed on the floor. I still don't understand it. I had a bathroom, but maybe she got lost and couldn't hold it in. I did not hear from her again. That's like, I wouldn't do it. Like, I wouldn't pee on someone's floor, but like, it happens, I don't know. Went on a date after talking to this guy for a few weeks and I told him I was thinking of getting my nose pierced but was afraid it would hurt. We're walking through a park in broad daylight and this dude takes a safety pin out of his pocket and fucking jams it through his nostril. Blood pours down his face. He laughs and says, see, no big deal. Talked to him for 2 weeks before we went out and saw, this is a different story by the way. Talked to him for 2 weeks before we went out and saw no red flags, so we ended up going out to dinner. I said I hadn't been out in a while because I was trying to save money for a washer and dryer. He told me instead of saving for that, I should save for a boob job. I didn't even know how to reply, so he followed up with, not that it's a bad thing. My sister and mom both had small tits and got boob jobs and they look amazing. That is all before the waitress even brought our drinks. I got up and left. That is the most uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable. That like made my body like cringe, like I can't. Okay, this next one says, I went to his place and we hooked up, but after he goes, so you wanna know what I'm really into? And I was like, sure, and he grabs my foot. I have a really irrational fear of people touching my feet. Me too, wait, me too. So I ran the hell out of there. Anyways, I get to the living room on the way out and it turns out to be his parents' house and I look at his mother and see she was my old therapist. Oh my God. I feel so bad for these people, but these are so funny. After hanging out a few times, I went over to her place and we hooked up. It was pretty great, except that I forgot in her bio that she was fluent in German. So mid-coitus, this very cute blonde is shouting in German, which, no offense to the Germans, isn't exactly the sexiest language in the book. It was so unexpected, and I was terrified. Another time we went to grab a drink at a bar and she obviously knew the bartender, and we were all chatting it up. She was hanging on me and we had some PDA going on. After the bartender left, I asked how she knew him, and she told me that it was her ex-husband. I was a bit shocked because we were all 20-something. When she went to the bathroom, he leaned over and asked me how I took to the German in bed. I was still a bit shocked and said, it's all right. He winked at me and she came back. Weird girl, nice guy, comped our drinks, and he still remembers when I go in for a beer. Okay, and just a warning, I started reading this next one. It's a bit graphic. Just a warning for my younger audience. The D word is in here, like penis, but like dick, you know. I have a chipped tooth in the back and ended up slicing this guy. Oh, I can't. Ended up slicing this guy. Oh, I can't even get through it. I can't even, like my mouth won't let me get to that word. I hate that word. Ended up slicing this guy's dick open from it. Blood everywhere. He took off pretty quickly after that and I deleted my Tinder account shortly after. I matched with a super cute girl on Tinder. We messaged back and forth for a few days. Didn't see any red flags, we just liked the same things and seemed to click very well, so we decided to meet up at a restaurant for our first date. She told me to walk in and look for a woman in a red dress. To give you some context, I don't really do this very often, so I was pretty nervous once I pulled up. I double checked everything. Hair, check. Breath, check. Nothing in my teeth, check. Condoms, check. So I get down and walk into the restaurant and I start looking for her. The hostess offered to seat me somewhere, but I declined and said with a smirk, "My date is waiting for me, it's okay." So I continued and walked in looking for her. I couldn't seem to find her, but as soon as I turned a corner, I saw a table full of my boys laughing their asses off and recording my reaction to the moment I realized I had been catfished and been flirting with the boys for the past week. That is so mean. That is so mean. No, I don't like that story. That's horrible. That is horrible. Okay, met at a Starbucks. She told me she was vegan and that she was cool that I'm not. I order a coffee with cream in it and she screams at the top of her lungs in the crowded Starbucks that I'm a cow murderer. I just paid for my stuff and left. Well, I've only gone on one Tinder date. We talked a bit and I agreed to pick her up at Starbucks. Oh, another Starbucks story. She looked nothing like her pictures, but I thought I should be nice and at least hang out with her for a bit. We went to her place and the entire house reeked like cat pee. Like saturated. Then as she proceeded to show me her massive collection of animal tail butt plugs, she screamed at her chihuahua and smacked it right on the nose and without missing a beat, asks if I want to make out on the couch. I awkwardly sat down and pretended to look at my phone and made up that my grandma was dying so I could get the fuck out. Oh my god. Oh god, this next one. I matched with my BFF's fiance after the engagement party, screenshots of everything, and lost my BFF because I don't play that. I was uninvited to the wedding. Marriage lasted 18 months. Again, I think this is the last one. I think I was someone's horror story. My girlfriend and I had broken up about a month ago. I still had not gotten over. So I started using Tinder to go on dates to fill that void. One girl made the unfortunate decision to go on a dinner/drinking date with me. The beginning of the date was going well until we ordered a few drinks and I proceeded to spend the entire 2 hours talking about my ex and venting to this poor girl. Wait, why is that me? I don't actually do that, but I trauma dump really bad. Like, not even trauma dump. I just tell a lot of stories that I should not tell. Like, I was on a date with this guy one time and I told him a story and he literally goes, "Maybe we should stop sharing." Because I just don't know when to shut the fuck up. Those stories were incredible. Like, not what I was expecting in the slightest bit. I thought they were gonna be like a little awkward, a little weird, but some of those were like really bad, really bad. And I'm glad I wasn't expecting them to be scary because I would have been really disappointed, but whatever. But now I want to talk about what I did to my Hinge profile just for funsies. It's kind of a long story, so just like be prepared. If you don't want to hear, like, okay, there's no more stories in this. So if you don't care to hear this, click off the video. So I was streaming the other day and I was gonna make a Tinder account so that I could swipe on Tinder on stream because you can use Tinder on desktop and you can't use Hinge on desktop. So as I was making my Tinder account, which I didn't end up making by the way, because it was way too complicated, like Tinder is not what it used to be. While I was making the account, you have to put your passions. And one of the passions that you could choose from was walking. And I thought it was the funniest thing that I'd ever seen. Like, who's passionate about walking? Like, it's just so random. I don't know. I thought it was funny and me and my chat were like cracking up and my chat was like, "You should just put walking as your only passion." And I was like, "You're so right." So I tried to make my only passion, my singular passion, walking. But I couldn't do that. You had to pick at least 3. So I was going to pick 3, like whatever. But walking was going to be my main one. And my bio was going to be something about like, I love walking. Like I fucking love to walk. So I was going to make my profile like around walking. And then I started taking pictures. Keep in mind, I'm still live streaming. I start taking pictures on my phone of me walking so that I can use one of the pictures on my profile to be like, "I love walking, here's me walking." So Tinder ends up not working out, so I made my entire Hinge profile about walking. I'm gonna show you the picture really quick. This is the walking picture that I did, but I'm not gonna show you my Hinge profile because it's cringy, because it's like, I'm serious about using Hinge. Like my pictures are fucking serious, except for that one. Whatever. So my profile says, "My greatest strength, walking. If loving this is wrong, I don't want to be right, walking. I geek out on walking." And then a special talent of mine is that picture of me walking, a special talent of mine, walking. And you would think people would be like, "What the fuck?" and like question my profile and not just like me and not say anything. But that's exactly what's happening. Nobody is saying anything about my profile. They're just liking me and like moving on. Except for Jake. I love Jake, but he's really bad at responding. It's been like 3 days and he's sent me 1 message. So Jake replies, and I'm not gonna show you the messages because I don't want you to like see his face and I'm not good at editing, so I don't know how to like blink out his face. So he responds to the special talent of mine, the picture of me walking, and all he says is walking, which is just perfect. So I said, "I love walking." And he says, "How fast can you walk?" I specifically want a woman who can walk fast. So I said, I'm typically a pretty steady walker, but I can do a mean fast walk, which I think I meant to say speed walk. Is speed walk the right terminology? Like, you know when people like do the speed, like the fast walking, is it called fast walk or speed walk? I think I meant to say speed walk, but he isn't very, I don't think he gets on Hinge very often. I also don't know him at all, so I have no idea if that's true or if he just thinks I'm a fucking weirdo, so he's not responding to me. I don't know. But that's the only person who has said anything about my profile, which I find it so strange because it's like, I'm giving you so much to work with and you're not taking it. And then all my other matches who I like match with prior to changing my profile are probably like, what are you, like, what the fuck? Well, whatever. Hinge is interesting though. I've been on one date, and I'm not going to go into detail about it because he knows I have a YouTube channel and I'm not talking about it on my YouTube channel. I'm not doing that. So I've been on one date, and that's it. So yeah, I've talked to like 3 people, 2 of them ghosted me. So it's fine, it's fucking fine. They all know what I do for a living, so if they stumble across this video, hey bitch, why did you ghost me? What did I do wrong? Like sometimes, okay, actually I know what I did wrong for one of them, and I'm not even, I trauma dumped. And I'm not gonna go into detail about it because just in case anybody, just in case. Totally trauma dumped. But I was also like, it's a long story. I can't go into it. I talked about it on my stream, but it was my own fault. Like I said a little bit too much. I should have shut my mouth. But trauma dumped on one guy, he ghosted me, which understandable, probably for the better. Other guy, I don't know, he was just kind of fucking weird and would like text me and then not respond. Like he'd be like, how are you? And I would answer and then he just like wouldn't say anything and I'm like, oh, like what? Like, okay, but whatever. Didn't really care about him anyways, honestly. You know, it's whatever. I've been on Hinge for a while and I've only talked to 3 people, so I don't think it's going that well. But yeah, that's my little story time, I guess. But I don't really have anything else to say. I don't think. So I'm gonna go. I love you guys. Sorry this video is a little bit different. This is more of like a funny video, I guess, than like scary. But I wanted to read Tinder stories. I just thought it sounded fun and I didn't know what to film for this week. So here we are. Gnar is sitting like right next to me on the chair. And I think that's the funniest thing in the entire world. Gnar. Meow. Okay, I'm gonna go. I love you guys. Gnar is getting onto my lap. I love you guys. I'm gonna go. I will see you in the next one. Bye. So a little update to my last video talking about my health issues. Gnar is gonna mess with my tripod, but it's the ending. Who cares? What? So a little update. I haven't gone back to the doctor yet. So okay, where we ended off, I had labs done. My cats are doing something. They're causing some sort. Okay, well, Weems is attacking Rumble, and Rumble's not into it, so if you hear, like, a cat fight, they might fight. I'll have to break it up, but whatever. Okay, where we ended off, I got labs done, and I actually go to the doctor on Friday, so you're seeing this on Friday, so I'm going to the doctor when you see this. I got my lab results back via email, so I could see, and I tested positive for this, like, something. I don't know exactly what it is, and I'm not going to tell you guys just in case I'm like reading it wrong. So I tested positive for like this one thing, and it would make sense a little bit, I guess. I don't know if it causes fatigue. Didn't really say any. I like Googled it and it didn't say anything about fatigue. So it's an autoimmune disease, I think. So that might be what it is. But it talks about like calcium deposits on your skin, and I have a calcium deposit on my pinky that's been there for a while. So it would make sense if I had that. But I don't know if that's what's causing my fatigue. I also don't know if you guys remember, I had really bad nausea for a while. I still have that. Just in the mornings. I'm not pregnant. Someone commented, they were like, do you think you're pregnant? No, I'm not pregnant. I am not pregnant. It is physically impossible for me to be pregnant. Not pregnant, but I have really bad morning sickness, not pregnant, and that could be a symptom of that as well. So it makes sense. Those factors make sense. So at least I have an answer for like those, if not the fatigue. I also think I have a vitamin D deficiency, but it wasn't like super maximum, like crazy deficiency, whatever. It was like a little bit of a deficiency. So I don't know if that would be causing it as well. Not sure. So I'll get my results Friday, so you guys will be updated next week sometime. But thank you to everybody who commented on that video. You guys are so sweet and supportive and commented me down a lot. A lot of you were telling me it's probably just a deficiency in iron, vitamin D, something like that, which I think it's probably what it is, but like the fatigue is so bad that it's like hard to believe that that would be it. But if it is that, like that's what I'm hoping. I hope it's something as simple as like taking vitamin D every day, taking iron every day. But like my fatigue is just so bad that it's like, if that's the solution, that's crazy. Like that's so crazy. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I might have this like autoimmune disease. I'm not really sure yet. I think I might be reading the chart wrong. She said we'll go over the positives when I come in. It does say I'm positive for it. So I don't know. I don't know what the treatment is for it. I'll find out Friday. I'm trying not to freak myself out. I shouldn't have even looked at the chart, but I saw, like, I got an email that said, like, your records are ready, and so I read them, and I don't even understand what I'm reading, so I shouldn't have read them, because I just, like, freaked myself out more. But yeah, so that's it. I'm gonna go. I love you guys. See ya. See ya. See ya.